Susanna told me that when I was born, she knew I was destined for one of her boys.
This, I believe, is one of the main reasons why Belly and Jeremiah have gotten together so quickly. As anyone who has experienced the loss of a loved one knows, the gifts they gave you, the songs they liked, the little things they used to say, all of those memories of them and the physical representations of them in your life hold so much more significance. Having something or someone with you as time moves on that was significant or was approved by or was loved by a person that you have lost is a huge part of how you keep that person with you in your life as you grow and change. It's hard knowing that the person you loved isn't going to be around to see your life as it goes on, to meet the new people in it, to meet your spouse, to meet your children, to see what becomes of you. And so I think there's a sense of peace where if those things have happened before you've lost the person, you feel like they saw something significant in your life and they had a part in it, and that person or that thing is something you will carry with you and therefore bring a part of the lost person with you as well as you go forward in your life. Now in this situation, Susanna said that she felt that Belly was destined for one of her boys, and I'm sure the boys knew this as well. You can see how much joy it brought Conrad and Belly, knowing how much Susanna approved of their relationship and loved them together. And I think that in itself is something that they value, particularly now that she's gone. But of course, the relationship broke down. And I think Belly is, in a way, in her grief, trying to hold on to that part of Susanna in her life, the one that approved her being with one of the boys. And now that she's no longer with Conrad, I think she's instinctively turning towards Jeremiah. And likewise, I think Jeremiah puts so much value on being the one who ends up with Belly for the same reasons. It's a part of him being able to keep his mum with him as he goes on in his life. It probably has a similar weight with Conrad as well. I guess it kind of makes sense that they're all a bit messy at the moment, and it makes sense that they're all holding on to each other in even this extremely chaotic way, because they're trying to hold on to Susanna and the things that represent her that are still around, which are each other. Grief and loss is a huge theme in this season of the show, and I just think the relationships are massively impacted by it. These characters seem a little crazy sometimes with their decision making, but I guess their loss and their grief is playing a huge part in that, and I think this is just another aspect of that grief, which is definitely having an impact.
I want to talk about the differences between their relationships. Most Jer stans are saying this is a look of love, and they're like freaking out over this interaction. I can 100% confidently say that this is not romantic love. There's love there, but it's not romantic. This is passionate romantic love, again and again. They are the happiest when they're with each other, and that's what love is. I genuinely believe that Jared definitely cares for Belly, and I think that he loves her. I don't think that he's ever been in love to know what love feels like. So whatever he feels for Belly, I think he thinks that's romantic love when it's not. So I think that's why he tries to push it, because he doesn't know anything else. He thinks this is what he deserves. At the end of the day, Belly knows, and Conrad knows. It's just a matter of them getting together.
You want to know why I will always fucking defend Conrad? Let me just read this to you. He was marrying my girl, and I couldn't do anything about it. I just had to watch it happen because he was my brother, because I promised. Take care of him, Connie. I'm counting on you. Connie literally asked his brother for his permission to date her when he didn't even have to. He didn't want Jeremiah to hate them, so much so that he asked. For years, Jeremiah continued to hate and blame Conrad for everything, even though he protected Jeremiah's happiness, and Belly's too. He cared about them so much so that he let Belly go so she could be happy. That is something that Jeremiah could never do.
Why is Belly always running? I swear this girl has like some kind of Sagittarius energy in her, this need to lead and explore a lot of different experiences. There's definitely something to be said about Conrad's lesson to learn, that he needs to show up and fight for what he wants and say what he needs to say. But I think that there's also something that's not analyzed as much about Belly Conklin's character, that I think she does have this need to go and find herself before she is actually ready to settle. And I think that's a very real need inside of her that manifests itself throughout their entire relationship from the very get-go. The fact that Conrad was waiting at the pool at the end of episode 1 because he knew that Belly would be there swimming at night like she does every time shows us that he was trying to show up for her. He even gets all flirty. He was saying, "Are you gonna kiss me?" And it's actually Belly who breaks the moment and swims away because she's reading his dialogue like he's being snarky instead of vulnerable. Then he tries to tell her his feelings on the 4th of July, and if you zoom in, it's actually Belly who is the first one to break away when they almost kiss. He asked her to the ball, and Belly runs away. But then Belly gets scared that he didn't really want to ask her to the ball. Then he tells her that he wanted to ask her to the ball, and shows up to fix the drama he caused. But Belly chooses to go with Jeremiah. He still tries to fix it. She walks away. She keeps giving him these ultimatums like, it's now or it's never. It's all or it's nothing. It's over forever. And the man still shows up and gets her the good muffins that she turns down. And even when they get together, she has these awkward moments where she breaks away a bit. He says, "Do you want to be with me?" And she doesn't directly answer that. She says, "Well, it's what I've always wanted." He says, "Okay, be with me." And she's like, then he says, "What? Is that funny?" Then he says, "You are it for me." And she says, "I don't want to hurt Jer." She breaks away from his touch. She runs away at the prom while he's saying, "Wait." And she tells him he can't say anything. She runs away again at the funeral, misunderstanding, and he says, "Wait." And then she tells him she never wants to see him again. He shows up again to see her in the pool, and she implies that she wishes she were somewhere else and swims away. She left him at the ring toss because she thought he didn't want her. Then she left him again. Then she picked the giraffe. She blew him off when he tried to connect with her again. She walks in without him. Belly Conklin would tell you Conrad just didn't stand up for her enough, or show up for her enough, or tell her enough that he wanted to be with her. But in my heart of hearts, I think that deep down there has always been a need inside of Belly Conklin to understand who Belly Conklin is. And until she does, she's never going to understand this man. And she's never going to understand whatever this is that's going on between them. I think she has a real need in her soul to explore and have adventure and make sure she has tried everything and knows exactly what she wants.